You get to sit and you lot would have to stand. And listen to me go on and on and on. And then at some point in history, I've never been able to find out when, all that reversed. So that now, the rabbi, that's me again, has to stand. While you lot can sit and listen to me go on and on and on. Today that's going to change. We're all going to sit. But that's the only change there's going to be, because you'll still have to listen to me going on and on and on. Now when Greg, excuse me, get me puff. When Greg asked me to give this talk, I was over the moon, elated, because I do love the sound of my own voice. And to be invited to talk before people, a captive audience, the door is locked, oh, there's nothing. That's the stuff dreams are made on. And it's such a shame to be told to shut up. So I was over the moon, but then the bombshell hit. Because then he told me I was going to have to speak on. And my heart sank like a stone. I'll tell you why. Many years ago, a rare occurrence occurred, as they do, and I found myself in charge at home of the telly buttons, which meant that I could channel hop, much to everyone's annoyance. Now, I was channel hopping, and I came across a channel that did telly shopping. And I thought, what is that? And I looked, and I was intrigued, because there were two presenters talking up and hyping and extolling the virtues and advantages of some rather suspicious looking kitchenware, which once you buy you never use, it just goes in the cupboard. And I thought, what do you have to do to get that job? I was intrigued, so I looked it up. And apart from being a failed actor, you have to go through certain auditions. And one of the auditions is you have to talk unscripted for 10 full minutes, describing the virtues and the wonderful design and the usefulness of a pencil. And you have to do that without repeating yourself too often and without running out of superlatives. If you can do that, you've just about got the job. Now I have to talk for 15 minutes on what is on the outside a very thin pencil of scripture. Judge not, and you shall not be judged. How on earth do you do that? But that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is this. I'm probably the last person on this good earth who's entitled to preach on this, because I'm one of the worst offenders when it comes to judging others. Over some 55 years of motoring, I have consigned untold thousands to the lower regions of hell for their imbecility and stupidity and recklessness on the road. Happily for them, happily for me, I don't have the authority or the power to consign anyone to hell. That belongs to God alone. And it turns out I'm the only one who's been harmed by that, because these thousands of motorists are totally oblivious to the fact that they have been so consigned by me. I'm the only one who suffered. Now, if I preach to you on this verse, I would become the hypocrite that our Lord disdains in the following verses. Because I'd be saying to you, let me pluck out this speck of sawdust from your eye, when I, in fact, have a massive plank of wood in my home. A hypocrite, that comes from a Greek word meaning a play actor. In New Testament times, play actors didn't wear makeup and wigs like they do today. They wore masks, usually made out of wood or terracotta, and you just couldn't see the person behind them. And so they pretended to be something that they weren't when they spoke their lines. And that's what our Lord means when he says, don't be a hypocrite, don't be a play actor, which I would be if I preached to you on this. Now the word judge, I can tell you some of the technical details of this without preaching to you, happily. The word judge is an unfortunate word. It comes down just through the King James Bible, and it doesn't really carry the baggage of the original Hebrew and Greek word for judging. We are told in parts of the Old Testament to judge the poor, to judge the widows and the orphans. And what do we do? Do we say, you naughty widow, you bad orphan, be condemned? No, of course not. We have to look at the context of that word judge. And in that context, it means that we have to advocate for, we have to speak up for, we have to defend, protect the poor, the widows and orphans from those who would otherwise exploit them. That's what the word judge means in that context. But now we come to the word judge again in this context. Judge not, and you shall not be judged, or lest you be judged. It's not saying to us, don't advocate, don't speak up for, don't defend anyone. That's not the kind of judging it means. We have to look at the context. And this kind of context, the word judging, it comes from the Greek word kritis in this verse, and it means to criticize. And we get our word critic from it, of course. Now, when you criticize someone, you never do so in a positive way. It is nearly always negative, and it is always bad. We ascribe to people bad motives and all sorts of negative, horrible things. Now, the Lord is asking us not to do that, because if we don't think of other people kindly, then God may not think kindly upon us. And that is, in this context, what that word judge means. Judge not. It's a bad translation. It should read, don't think unkindly. Or to use a converse, it means think kindly on one another. Now, I can't imagine what this world would be if each of us did that. If society, if countries, nations got together and decided to think kindly on one another, the killings would stop, the theft would stop, the lying would stop, the robbing, the dishonouring, everything that is bad in this world would stop. Just in that one tiny, tiny verse in Scripture. But the Bible is like that. You look at it and you think, what a thin pencil that is. That one verse, one of the shortest sentences in the Bible. When you start picking at it and looking at it, it grows, it fills the void, and it takes us into places where we never dreamed of. And really, that's about what I can say on it. I think, Jane, I think it's suffered enough. Thank you.
I think it
So I think we'll call that a day. But thank you very much.
Thank you.